Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know what it feels like? It feels like we're witnessing incredible history in front of our very eyes. I mean, what a story that's being written. From Donald Trump's shock 2016 victory to the impeachment attempts, the riots, the pandemic, losing the White House in 2020, coming back in 2024, facing attacks, slander, indictments, narrowly escaping death not once but 2 times, 2 failed assassination attempts, then coming in as the underdog and beating the establishment's $1.5 billion election machine. I mean, we truly witnessed something special. But I'll tell you, it seems like the story isn't done. No, not just yet. It feels honestly like we're in the middle of it, or call it the second chapter, where the tides are turning. We've reached an inflection point is what it feels like. And these moments where the tide is turning are generally rare to witness, but the tides are certainly turning in this political story. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright, so I'll tell you, it almost feels like a freaking movie. After everything that's happened, all the attacks, all the demonization, it feels like it's all culminated to moments like these. Donald Trump arrives for the reopening at the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. I think probably at this point you understand what I mean when I said the tides feel like they're turning. For years, we've been bombarded with a relentless narrative from the left and their allies in the media that Trump was not only unfit to lead, but he was the embodiment of evil, a modern-day Hitler that had to be stopped.
Are you visiting another Hitler? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is directly out of Hitler's playbook.
He wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
The other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also...
And yet, here he is, now being welcomed warmly by world leaders at one of the most historic events of the decade. The contrast is just so incredibly stark. And honestly, I think it tells a deeper story about the crumbling narratives that the left have attempted to put together recently. You know, it feels like the end of their smear campaigns and the rebirth of Donald Trump and his standing on the world stage. Now the left is going on and just calling it another Trump photo op. But this event was more than just a photo op. It's a moment that highlights, in my view, the implosion of the deep state's year-long psyop to destroy Donald Trump in the eyes of the American people and the global community. In my view, that's the story here. A 10-year-long psychological operation campaign to ruin this man's reputation and career. From the fabricated dossier commissioned by Hillary Clinton to the sham impeachments, all the baseless accusations and endless media hysteria, it's been a campaign of destruction with one goal: to cast Donald Trump as illegitimate, as an irredeemable villain. But there's only one problem, as the establishment is learning, and that problem is when you fabricate a narrative so extensively, at some point, especially as time goes on, the truth tends to have a way of shining through. And in this election season, that truth is impossible to ignore. This is the era of the Trump resurgence and the end of their witch hunt. We're witnessing a moment of deep vindication. It almost feels like a return to pre-politics Trump, the man who was actually respected for his achievements and judged on his merits, rather than being turned into some villainous caricature by his political enemies. I mean, how far we've come, to really put it into perspective. All we gotta do is a little flashback.
In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
And now today. The world's gone from laughing at him to now embracing him. It's a night and day transformation. And it's not like this is a moment in isolation. No, it's just another piece of the puzzle that's painting a clear picture here. You know, this has been the narrative all election season. The left calls him Hitler and does their whole, oh, he's a convicted criminal, he's unhinged and a threat to democracy thing. Donald Trump is literally Hitler. But then we see the same people making these ridiculous claims, showing up at fancy galas toasting with Trump.
Ladies and gentlemen, our program is about to resume. Please take your seats. Our program is about to resume. Please take your seats. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, just Chuck Schumer enjoying a beautiful night and dinner with Donald Trump, supposedly American Hitler. I mean, give me a freaking break. Then not so long ago, we had Mika Brzezinski and Morning Joe showing up at Mar-a-Lago to extend an olive branch.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Yeah, you know, just extending an olive branch to supposed American Hitler. They look like such utter fools. This whole thing, this decade-long campaign of attempting to convince the public that the sky is purple, well, it's all come to a crashing end. The Democrats and their allies in the media have spent years trying to turn Trump into a pariah, a symbol of everything they claim to stand against, but in doing so, they've ended up exposing their own hypocrisy and overreach. Their attempts to destroy Donald Trump haven't just failed, they've backfired spectacularly. You know, by going to such extreme lengths, they've now only made the contrast between their lies and the reality of Trump's achievements that much more visible. And now it feels truly like the times have changed. Everything feels different. You can just sense it in the air. It's a completely different political environment, and I'd argue a completely different country. A huge, rapid cultural shift that is going to change the trajectory of the United States, and thus probably the world. And this story, at least to me, is more than just about Trump. It's about the truth finally breaking through, you know, breaking through the noise. It's about the American people waking up to the fact that they've been lied to for years. And I think it's time for the world to start putting some respect on his name, to start treating Donald Trump with some respect, the respect that he has earned. And that seems to be exactly what's happening. In other words, it's a completely different world out there, folks. And I just have a good feeling about it. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That's what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.